Thanks, everybody, and thanks to Tricentis for allowing us the opportunity to present to you guys. And actually, this is going to be a slightly different topic than I think you've had the last couple of days. It's going to exercise your right brain as opposed to the left brain, which is more analytical and mathematical and technological and engineering and that sort of stuff. So we're going to get into a little different sort of a discussion today.
Exercise my right brain rather than my left brain. Okay, well, let's remind ourselves on what the right and left brain theory generally entails. The left brain, in this theory, handles thinking in words, sequencing, linear thinking, mathematics, facts, and logic. Okay, and the right brain handles the visualization of feelings, imagination, intuition, rhythm, holistic thinking, and the arts. So when our speaker says we're going to be exercising our right brain versus our left brain, I really hope he isn't implying that we are to abandon facts and logic as we proceed, because that ain't gonna happen.
But it's an important one, because I think you'll find that this right brain topic informs your left brain. It's very important that we talk about diversity in the workplace, okay?
Okay!
Diversity. My favorite. Making sure that the workplace, and one day society in general, attains the correct balance of skin colors, genders, and sexual orientations. You know, the aspects of an individual that really matter.
As you can see, I don't look diverse, right?
Right?
A white male.
So, for the record, our speaker has highlighted appearance, specifically race and gender, as defining diversity, and that his appearance is the opposite of being diverse. Got it.
I will tell you this, I am 1/64th Cherokee Indian, so I'm a little diverse.
So the fact that you are, what, racially impure? This provides you the benefit of being a little diverse. Yes, I am sure the blood of your ancestors releases you from the original sin of having problematic skin color. That is what I am to understand from that comment, isn't it?
And that's not enough for me to actually get a Native American scholarship at an American university, so I didn't quite make it enough, but it's a little bit anyway.
So I am assuming that you did some research on that in the past. You sound slightly disappointed that you were too white to receive free money.
I have with me Esther Spitzenberger and Trishna Gupta, who are going to help me out. They are diverse in that sense.
Well, wow. Usually, when I cover a video regarding the modern use and excuse of diversity, the speakers tend to dance a bit around specifics, or also clearly defining the term, at the risk of being legitimately called out on advising that businesses hire and or promote people on characteristics other than merit. But our speaker here? He apparently has no such filter. Diversity means non-white, and then presumably non-male. His candor is honestly fascinating to me.
And I'm going to spend the first 10 minutes or so just kind of doing a TED Talk and give you some anecdotes and to talk to you why this is an important discussion, okay?
Okay!
Oh boy! A TED Talk without it being a TED Talk. I dug up a real diamond today.
Accenture has mandated, our chairman, Pierre Nanterme, has mandated that by the year 2025, 50% of our leadership, not our workforce, but our leadership would be female. Okay?
Okay!
Right. So, Accenture aims to hire, promote, and or pass over people for leadership positions based on their gender in order to fill a 50-50 quota. Got it.
Also, this year, we just finished our performance management process. I just finished the compensation process for my folks. And the mandate that we were given, and I say mandate, I'll explain that in a second, but it was 33% of the people we had in the promotion categories or in the highest ranking levels had to be from what we call a protected class. Had to be female, had to be a Caucasian male.
Right. So about 1/3 of those people at Accenture who are being considered for promotion are discriminated against based on their race, gender, or sexual orientation, regardless of merit. Got it.
And this has led to some controversy, as you can imagine.
I don't know, I can imagine quite a bit.
Some discussion. This is a dialogue, and I'm the kind of guy that likes to, as we say in the US, throw the fish on the table, right?
Right.
Get the smelly topic on the table so you can talk about it and dialogue about it and understand what it really means. And I think we can have this discussion here today and see what you all think about that.
Well, credit where credit is due. Our speaker has not hesitated to throw the smelly fish onto the table or has been at all averse to telling us what he really means. Go on.
But let me take you back for a second. In the last 3 or 4 years in the United States, there has been a dialogue around college entrance admissions. First-year students at college classes, in college classes, we call them freshmen, right?
Right.
Do you want to have all of your people be the highest on the testing scores? We call it the ACT, the SAT in the United States, or the highest grade point average. Have all your people be like that? The answer, surprisingly, is no.
We don't want the best and the brightest. Well, pray tell, what do we want?
Colleges don't look for everybody with uniformity. They don't look for people with the highest grade point averages, the highest test scores. They also don't look for people, the best colleges, the Ivy Leagues in North America, the Duke, Stanford, Harvard, Yale, Princeton, don't look for well-rounded people.
The colleges neither look for the best academic achievement or for well-rounded people in their admissions process. Now, I am in no way going to disagree with that claim by our speaker. The events at many high-level colleges over the last few years really speak for themselves on that point. But I am just dying to know on what side of this situation our speaker is going to place himself.
You think that they did back in my day, that you wanted to be well-rounded. They don't care about well-rounded. They care about who has world-class skills in something. Who is the best cellist, the best actor, the best basketball player, the best applied physicist, the best mathematician, the best ballet artist, right?
Right.
So, the best at something as measured by what? You've set aside ACT and SAT scores. You've set aside personal merit or character. How do you select the best physicist or the best ballet dancer without test results?
If you make out your freshman class, your first-year class, with everyone having world-class skills in something, that optimizes the quality of your first-year class. And that has been held up in the courts over and over again.
In the courts? The courts have ruled on how freshman classes must be populated based on skill set rather than test scores or personal merit? I'm confused.
So when people say, and they do, they've tried to sue saying, I have higher test scores than this individual that you let in. Well, that individual that was let in has some world-class skill that made them more attractive than others.
Test scores versus world-class skills. Okay, well, I would love to have a citation on that one, but none is being offered. Now, I have heard of cases where people with high test scores have been denied entry because they were the incorrect race up against quotas established via affirmative action. So, unless you're defining world-class skills as being skin color, I really have no idea what you are talking about.
Now, apply that to the working world, right?
Right?
At Accenture, do we want to have everybody be trained engineers from the best engineering schools in the world to come in and do quality engineering, do development, do pattern analysis, do whatever it is that we do from a technological perspective? We are a technology consulting company after all.
Does a technology company want the best engineers from the best schools? Can your answer be anything other than yes, without signaling that your company is satisfied with taking half measures in the quality of your personnel and services?
Well, the answer that we have decided on is no, we don't, right?
Right?
We want to have people with accounting backgrounds, people with history backgrounds, people with philosophy backgrounds, people with engineering backgrounds, mathematical backgrounds, right? We want to have a mix of people that have different skill sets.
Right. Engineering backgrounds, but just not an engineering background from any of the best schools. That doesn't really matter. Does that apply as well to your accountants? Because, really, nothing says trust like telling your potential clients that the quality of your accounting department's credentials are not important.
And you can extend that to demographics. We want to have people from different demographic backgrounds, different races, different ethnicities, sexes, sexual orientations.
Different sexes. Well, flip a coin. It's either one or the other. And let me just say again that I am sincerely floored by how explicitly our speaker is downplaying personal merit in favor of arbitrary characteristics. It is amazing.
By doing that, we're getting an optimal mix of people with optimal skills that bring different ideas to the table on a consistent basis.
Different ideas. Oh, so now we're talking diversity of thought? But that race, gender, sexual orientation, these things are determinative of how one person thinks versus another person. How very, very progressive. Tell me more about how skin color and genitals define ways of thinking.
So when I'm out on a project or I'm running a project and we've got 150 people in a small town in central Iowa in the United States, and we are the social life of that town, we don't want them all to be uniform and the same type of people. We want them to be diverse, different. People that can stay up late at night with you and have those conversations that you never would have had unless you've been meeting with and talking to people that that are different from you. We want to have people that reflect the diversity of the society that we live in.
Right. Different. Because all white people are the same. All black people are the same. All men are the same. All women are the same. Race and gender make an individual a part of a collective hive mind, where no competing thoughts, ideas, or perspectives can exist. Diversity cannot tolerate too many people of the same skin color, gender, or sexual orientation. Got it.
Now, we are going to get occasional discussions and questions from people that say, hey, I had better grades in school than that person. I have more experience in this particular skill than this individual. How come you didn't pick me? How come I didn't get promoted? How come you didn't hire me?
Yes, that is a legitimate question to ask. Or are you going to tell us that it's not?
And the answer is, we will always hire people that are relevant. We will always hire those people that have world-class skills.
But you just posed the scenario of someone citing their greater skill and experience than who was chosen, and them asking you why they were passed over. How is such a person not relevant?
As I was saying before, the very best schools look for those people with world-class skills in something. If you have something that's differentiating about you, you'll get hired.
Differentiating. Please tell us, what differentiates a more qualified employee from being hired or promoted as compared to who you would hire and promote? Please.
If we think about it from a testing perspective, I'm not just looking for people that have experience, testing Oracle schema or SAP. I'm looking for people that bring different ideas.
Different ideas. And different ideas, as we've been told, only belong to people who have a skin color other than white and genitals other than male. Got it.
Because we try to be transformational in what we do, right?
Right?
We try to think out of the box. We try to bring different ideas. We try to be at the forefront of the testing industry, and we can't do that unless we have people that try to think differently, that step out of the box every single day and think innovatively. And it's showing. We're getting great feedback from the marketplace on this particular point.
Step out of the box. You mean the boxes that you've relegated them to based on their gender, race, or sexual orientation? You just got done telling us that too many people that look alike are unable to come up with different ideas. So, how does someone leave that box without you having to assume that they stole their idea from one of the other boxes?
So, when our leadership mandates that 50% of our people in leadership be women, when they mandate that 1/3 of the people considered for promotions to managing director or considered for a certain ranking within Accenture, they're not putting artificial numbers around something.
50% women and 33% from protected classes is not putting artificial numbers around something. Got it.
If you think about it, when you talk about a quota system or the way that affirmative action in the United States has come to be thought of is that you put artificial numbers on something. And when you do that, anytime you put artificial numbers on it, then you actually reduce the pool of people that are available.
No, you don't necessarily reduce the number of people that are available, but you do wind up excluding people from job opportunities based solely on characteristics other than personal merit in order to maintain your mandated percentages. And that, by the way, is a federal crime.
And you don't want to do that, right?
Right?
The more people that you have available to consider for a particular role, a particular job, a promotion, the better off you're going to be. The more likely you're going to reach critical mass, the more likely that you're going to have the optimal mix of resources.
Unless they're of the wrong color, gender, or orientation, of course, because then, by definition, they have to fall out of consideration of your 50% or your 33%.
So when our company puts these boundaries around it, they're not really putting hard, fast guardrails on it.
They're not? 50% women, 33% protected classes, both of which, by our speaker's own definitions, specifically excludes white men. How are those not hard and fast restrictions?
We're not going to get shot if we don't have 50% in year 2025 of female leaders. We're not going to get shot if we don't consider at least 1/3 of all people being promoted to managing director at the time to come around for promotion.
Oh, okay. So when Accenture mandates a company goal, they don't really mean it. How very reliable a concept to promote for yourselves and to your potential clients.
What they are saying is take a hard look at who you are promoting. Take a hard look at who you're hiring. And when you do that, you consider those conscious and unconscious biases that we all have, and we all have them.
Oh, lordy, unconscious bias. Well, isn't that what your totally not artificial numbers are meant to combat? If you are mandated to choose people from specific demographics outside of personal merit, then unconscious biases are irrelevant, aren't they?
And we think about what is best for the particular mix of resource on a particular project. This is really the philosophy that Accenture has, and I think it's served us very, very well.
It has served your company well. Obviously, it has served our speaker very, very well. He's a top manager at his company, despite being a white male. Oh, but he's at least a little diverse, what with his 164th Cherokee Indian blood, so I can at least suspect that his ideas are an inch or two outside of the box. There is another 17 minutes or so of this talk, but I think I have allowed our speaker more than enough time to tell us what he really thinks, or at least how his company conducts its hiring and promotion practices. And as with so many other corporate diversity videos as I have looked at in the past, I remain bewildered as to how such admissions of valuing skin color, gender, and sexual orientation over merit, and proclaiming such proudly and in public, does not immediately lead to investigations of civil rights violations. And so, I'd like to close with a quote from Genesis, which I think is particularly relevant after listening to our speaker and taking into account how this philosophy in corporations affects us all. This is the world we live in, and these are the hands we are given. Use them, and let's start trying to make it a place worth living in. As always, thank you for watching.